Are you in a situation where your trading is still losing money? If so, hopefully this video will provide some help with your transition through to the other side. In today's episode, I focus on two of the reasons why novice traders lose money. When these two reasons are combined at the same time, this can spell disaster, leading to large losses. The sad thing is that these traders don't even understand why it's happening. Let's put this right. Darwinex is a UK FCA regulated broker and asset manager on a mission to disrupt the financial trading, investing and asset management industries. As a trader, you'll benefit from cost-effective market access via multiple trading platforms and APIs. These enable trading and investing in any US stock, over 60 of the most liquid futures contracts, FX and CFDs. You can even diversify your portfolio by buying and selling other traders' strategies as investable assets themselves. So, if all of that sounds interesting, learn more by clicking on the link top right now, or find further links in the description right below. Now back to today's tutorial. Overcoming the psychological tendencies that lead to taking these two actions that I mentioned in the introduction are critical factors that any trader has to overcome, and they need to do it as quickly as possible. As humans, we have a built-in tendency to take certain actions because of the way our brains work. It's something that has evolved over millions of years, and this is something that in the past has kept us safe. This is the inbuilt tendency to follow the crowd. However, when it comes to trading, it's different. If you let your built-in emotions kick in and you do follow the crowd, guess what? Your trades lose money. One specific example of this is doing something known as chasing price. Combine this with the second factor I mentioned, which is over-leveraging, and we have a disaster waiting to happen. Let's put this right. So in order to look at these two reasons why novice traders do lose money, and also what they can do about it, I want to start by looking at the trader evolution path that we considered previously. And in this, at the aspiring trader stage, this was where a trader would be thinking about developing their first strategy to tackle the financial markets. And it's here that the potential problems around following the crowd begin to occur. But they only manifest themselves at the next stage, where you actually start trading. And here, the effect is that 1, you're losing money, and 2, you're also probably making the additional mistake of over-leveraging. One thing I want to make clear is that the insights I'm going to share with you in this episode are all based on my own experiences. And so I know how tough it can be when you're in this situation. Fortunately, I've come through that many years ago and now wouldn't even dream of making those same mistakes now. But I also realise that these might not be issues that all traders face because everyone is different. But for me, they certainly hindered my own progress for quite some time. And if you're in this situation, then hopefully the video will help you to progress through that novice trader stage more quickly. Now, before I begin to talk about what you should be doing, we have to look at what you shouldn't be doing. Have you ever come across a site like this? You've been walking down the street and you notice a huge queue of people. And it's very interesting, if you hang around the end of that queue, people will come up and they'll ask the last person in the queue what they're waiting for. And they do this for a good reason. Those people are scared of missing out. If so many people are prepared to queue for something, it must be worth it. And they need to know if they need to join the queue. And it's this inbuilt thing within our psyche that makes us curious about following the crowd, following what everyone else is doing. Now, bringing ourselves back to trading, A good example of this is chasing price. So if the price is moving very strongly in a particular direction, there's a huge temptation to jump on with a trade to get the same advantage that all of those other traders who are already in the market are benefiting from. Now, this temptation to chase price, I would hazard a guess that 80, maybe even 90% of novice traders fall into this trap. And the psychological reasons for that, wanting to be part of that crowd, can be extremely strong. And I would guess that some traders never actually manage to get beyond this before giving up on trading. So let's take a quick look at what I mean by following the crowd in this context. Well, first of all, it means doing what a large number of other traders are already doing. So it's like that queue that we saw. There's a large number of people in a queue, so you join the back of the queue. You're late to the party, but at least you're there. But in reality, you will never make any money consistently and reliably taking that approach. In fact, you have to do the opposite. My experience is that to be successful, you have to do what the majority of other traders are not doing. And this means never chasing price. For me, this is a sure way of losing money. And secondly, never over leverage on any single trade. The reason being, you'll find yourself in a situation, if the trade goes against your position, that eventually you may well be forced out of your trade. And the irony here is that usually you'll be forced out at just the point you should actually be getting into a position. And so this has danger written all over it if you do choose to follow the crowd. All of this will become a lot clearer with an example of chasing price on an actual chart. But let me ask you two questions. Question 1. Have you ever opened a trade and then almost immediately the price suddenly switched direction and went against your position and you started to go into loss? Maybe it even felt like someone was waiting for you to enter and then flicked a switch to change the price direction to punish you. Question 2. Have you ever closed a losing position to stop further losses, to then see the price reverse and go in the direction that would have taken your position into a huge profit? Again, the timing might have been such that as soon as you closed the position, the price direction changed. Again, just like someone had flicked a switch to annoy you. If you can answer yes to either or both of these, there's a very good chance that you are succumbing to following the crowd and chasing price. That's all we've got time for this episode, but in the next, I'll be looking at real price action and talking about the emotions and specific actions around following the crowd. If you can recognize this in your own trading, it might mean that you can start to avoid it. But until next time, trade safe.